What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down what's happening with the economic calendar thus far, what's happening with the overall market, what you should be watching for as time progresses. Before I begin to tell most information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. You deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, when looking at the market, you guys can see there's a bit of a downtrend right over here on SPY. As SPY is forming kind of like a bull flag like structure. We have this first little attempt to break out that happened, and now we're maintaining this channel as we're dropping lower. But the question is, are we about to see a big drop in SPY? What level should you be watching for to see that? Or is SPY about to do the unthinkable and continue to break out, try to break its all-time high again, start pushing higher? How will we know SPY is going to break out or not? Well, it's very simple. I'll talk about why that is and how it could end up playing out. So, in my opinion, let's first talk about some data though. So, for Monday, we just have a couple of Fed speakers like Bostic in the morning. Then we have Cook and also some bill auctions coming out. It's very minor data on Monday. Tuesday is also kind of minor. We do have some house price reports coming out in manufacturing numbers after the market opens. So some more data that's a bit more significant on Tuesday will be coming out. Wednesday is a very quiet data day. There's not really much coming out except for just some bill auctions and Waller from the Fed giving a speech. And then besides that, Thursday and Fridays is going to be the days when things become a lot more serious. So what's going to be happening on these days is we have the GDP numbers coming out in the morning. We have important job reports coming out. Then we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report all coming out for Thursday. So quite a bit of data coming out for before the market opens and also like 30 minutes after. So I'll be watching for some high volatility on Thursday. And then additionally, we also have for Friday the PCE data report coming out. We're going to be looking at what happens with PCE prices, core PCE month over month, and everything else like that. So we're going to be looking for high volatility on Friday, and then at 11:30 a.m. on Friday we have Jerome Powell giving a speech. So in summary, Monday is going to be a very minor data day. Tuesday is going to be a bit more significant with more data coming out involving like manufacturing and stuff. Wednesday is a very minor data day, not much is coming out. And then Thursday and Friday are going to be a lot more intense. For the options chain for SPY, we had about just under 500,000 calls expiring, over 1.2 million of these puts expiring. This led to high volatility, at least from the way things were moving. We have quite a few puts expiring again next Friday. We have over 2 million. So the question is, are we going to see a crazy, crazy move? We have a very, very high puts to call ratio next Friday. Could this lead to a big squeeze or not? We'll have to just wait and see. And on top of this, market volatility is still kind of flat. It's not really doing much as the market was very, very lackluster today. It didn't really give us much data, much information. This is kind of like what a little snippets of what earnings are going to look like for the week. So if you're interested in looking at this, you can take a screenshot if you want. Otherwise, that is it for data and stuff. It's not going to be that crazy of a week. We're going to start off on a weekend. On Monday, Tuesday becomes a bit more serious. Wednesday should not be much, and then Thursday and Friday are going to be the crazy days when we have more data and Jerome Powell giving a speech. So what do I see? Excuse me. What do I see for the market? SPY is very, very simple. This thing is on a downtrend right now, so technicals are favoring bears somewhat more, but things could change depending on what these market makers try to pull. It's very simple. I do believe we're going to come all the way down to 520 and try to fill this gap down here. So I do see a move all the way down there. But the question is, do we lose 520 and start sinking? If we do lose 520, we could start to lose this yellow line right here. If we do lose this, I see us easily coming down to 518. If that fails us, 515 is going to be our next targets way down below. Now that's assuming we lose our yellow support, which is where our lower end of the channel happens to be right here, if we get that big break. Now, if we're bullish, so this is like the more bearish case, right, for SPY. If we're bullish, what could happen is we kind of come down to this 520 area and then we get a bounce. If we get that bounce, you have to watch this white line above. If we break through this, this would be a nice break from this bull flag. I'm going to be looking for a very, very nice breakout from there. And that's going to lead to another test of the all-time highs, if not above that. If we get a break above 520, this is like 521.5 to 522, depending on the timing. So in my opinion, I do believe we're going to fall all the way down to 520 flat on SPY, maybe a little lower. But I don't know if we're going to get a big bounce or not, depending on if news comes out or something like that. So the best thing to do is just try to be very, very unbiased and wait and see. And that's the best way I would look at SPY. Just look at which line do we break. Do we break the yellow one below and start sinking lower? Or is it going to be the white one above to help us break to the upside? Onto the QQQ, we're kind of range bound right now. It's just like SPY in a sense. We are showing some more strength than SPY. I will admit that. This is kind of look like an inverse head and shoulders. If we get a bounce here at 146 and we start consolidating, start pushing up, going to be looking for a move towards 448.5. Plus, if we end up breaking down, you're going to be watching support at 444. If we lose this, a much bigger drop is going to be coming. As of right now, we're still holding up very, very well. We're kind of consolidating around this 446 area, so I wouldn't really turn to a big bear or a bull. I'd rather just wait and see. We're still kind of range bound. Tesla is showing some life. It's trying to rebound a bit after getting this big break from this falling wedge. But the issue with Tesla is it depends on the news too, because there's so much bad news that keeps coming out for the stock. It is building some strength, forming like a wedge here. So I could see a test of 172 from a technical standpoint to finish filling this imbalance. So we could see 172 to 173.75 next week. Then we're going to be watching what happens from there. So I see more potential for upside for Tesla. But the only issue with Tesla is the fact that there's been so much bad news. All this news about, Elizabeth Warren saying things about the SEC opening a probe about Tesla. There's also all this news about their Chinese production output being cut. So with all the bad news, it makes things a little bit more complicated for Tesla. But I still believe that the technicals do favor a little bit more upside for it. So we're going to be watching for that going into next week. For Apple is going to retrace a little bit more. So I did say in my video it's going to try to rebound a bit. It did rebound from about 170 all the way up to about 172. So a little rebound came. It still looks kind of lackluster. If this drops a little bit more, we're going to be looking for an attempt to get back up to these higher levels. If we get a bounce at a higher low, so if we rebound a bit, watch 171 flat. If we bounce off that, we could be making our way back up to about 172.5 to 173. But if we start sinking back to 170.9 and we establish a lower high, there is a risk of this starting to sell off all the way down to 168 if we lose 170 flat, 171 at least for now. So I'm going to be watching to see, do we come down, establish a higher low and then start to bounce, or do we make a lower low and start sinking? They're both big possibilities. I do expect Apple to come down a little bit before we see an attempt to bounce or not. So watch for a little bit of downside, and we'll see what happens from there. For Nvidia, excuse me, I apologize, guys. Nvidia, in my opinion, is looking bullish because this has a nice accumulation structure because of the fact that we have a double bottom and we're seeing more buyers kind of stepping in and defending it. So with this consolidation, there's a very good chance we could get a break towards this 950 area. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. But nonetheless, guys, I do see some potential in Nvidia to push a bit higher. So we'll just have to see if that ends up being the case. With that being said, guys, I went over the majority of tickers I typically go over. I want to give you guys like a nice overview of what's happening for next week. And with that being said, I just want to thank you for listening. I want to keep this one short because it is a Friday and we're gonna have a day off tomorrow. So I wanted to make it nice and simple. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the weekend. I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow. Thank you and peace out.